Hey guys, my name is Jared Mathena of the Fly Armory. Today I'm going to be tying a big rodent for y'all. It's essentially the Steve Yewchuck rat. I do it a little bit differently with some personal tweaks. I take out the foam in the back so it sits a little bit lower, and I also flip the head around so it looks a little more along the lines of a struggling rodent on the water versus wanting to dive some when you flip the head around. That's just a personal adjustment that I like. From there, we're going to go to what you're going to be tying on. I do the Trout Predator in 6/0 for the Ahrex hooks. I have the Kona 5/0 big game carnivore hooks for the rear. And then the midsection is going to be tied on the Flyman Fishing Company big game shanks. The head is a double barrel popper with some foam ears and such, just kind of give a little rodent jazz going on there. The tail is going to be 550 cord with pearl sleeving over it. The legs will be 550 cord as well. And the body sections will be our Arctic Fox brush. I custom made these, and that's all that's really to it. So let's get to it then. All right, here we go. Gonna build ourselves a thread base. All the way to the back of the hook shank. Gonna put in our tail piece. Get this guy nice and locked in place. Alright, get a good thread layer over it. Alright, I'm going to tie in the legs, rear legs. Catch it in the midpoint. Get those where I want them. Push them back just a little bit more. There we go. Kind of figure eight them in like dumbbell eyes almost. Alright, and then kind of give them a little bit of a tightening in. Will also help them angle down some. Alright, so now we're going to advance back to the back of the fly. We're going to put our brush, get our brush started. The Arctic Fox brush. Okay. Trim off the excess here. And get the wire core sealed in. When you look at a rodent like a rat or such, they usually have a kind of a wider rear end, or I guess you could say they got a little extra junk in the trunk when it comes to a rodent. So you're going to try to keep a little more profile in the back section, but we don't want too much to make it too hard to cast. The Arctic Fox doesn't absorb a whole lot of water. and expels it rather quickly on the back cast. So we're gonna do some semi-spaced wraps. We're gonna fold the brush here a little bit, kind of comb some of that out of the way. There we go. So we're not trapping material. Alright. I'm gonna get her in here around the legs. Oop. I gotta get a little bit closer. There we go. There we go. Wrapped around the legs. Get all this kind of combed out so it doesn't get trapped. Alright. And right about there will do. You can get in there with your scissors and you can kind of just use it as a pick so you don't trap any unneeded fibers and expose the wire core to trim. Clean that up. Fold that cut of wire back. Just helps lock it in. And we'll clean this up. Okay. Whip finish. Too much thread. Alright. I'm going to use a UV resin here. Solaris Bone Dry is what this stuff is. Penetrates the thread real nice and gives you a good clean finish. Secures those thread wraps from teeth. Alright, brush this out a little bit more. Get any other potential trapped fibers unhooked. Alright, so that's a back hook. Now we're going to go to a midsection. Alright. Just a smidge tighter. That'll do. Once again, another thread base. think I can try to use this partial piece of a brush, expose some of the core so you can really secure it down real good. Alright. Once again, we're just going to try to wrap and give the illusion of profile, but not give it too much bulk. I'm going to wrap a couple tight wraps next to the joint just to kind of help blend those sections together so they don't stand out as much. There we go. Get some of that excess hair out of the way of the core. Trap as much, least as much material as possible. Just about there. Alright, that's plenty. Trim that. Look at the material. Once again, fold the wire back down. Nice solid clean head here. And we're going to whip finish. Do one more in there. Once again with the UV resin. Let it cure good. We're going to brush this thing out again. This brush might have been just a little bit densely done than the previous one. So that's okay. Alright, that's good. So from here we're going to go to the front hook. Get a thread base going once again. Just starting down the bend. There we go. Lie in here on the articulating wire. This is a 60-pound nylon coated multi-strand wire by Mason. Makes good articulating wire for musky flies and such, and also works really good for bite wire for toothy fish as well. Get that roughly where I want it as a size loop. Alright, I'm going to get my hair clip here. Hold that in place. Alright, I like to put my wire down through the eyelet. When you start talking these bigger hooks, they generally tend to have bigger eyelets. You can get away with that using the heavier wire. Push this back, hold it as tight as possible so it's in this innermost crease of the eyelet. Just kind of hold that where I want, try not to bust my thread on those cut tag ends, and then I'm just going to kind of clean this all up with some thread. Good base. Lock in that wire. It ain't going nowhere. Alright. Now the big thing is to see where the innermost piece of your popper head is going to sit on the shank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thread up here. I'm going to feed my popper head on. Doesn't seem to want to go through at the moment. Open it back up. This one's pretty tight. Alright, so I'm going to gauge where I want the hook eyelet to come out at. I want to have a little bit of room, but I don't want it sticking out too far. It's pretty close to good right there. See some of my thread wraps, loose thread wraps came undone. Alright, so from here, I can lightly make a wrap, and that'll give me an indication where my popper head stops. So I'm going to build a little bump, kind of basically a little notification bump where the fly needs to, body of the fly needs to end and the head begins. So there's my nice notification bump. I'm going to tie in my front legs now. There. Once again, just lock those guys in there. Alright, seal them in place. And I've just noticed my articulation joint wanted to shift on me. There we go. Alright, back to the brush. Don't think I got enough on that one to possibly finish it, so we'll use a new one. work in too tight of a spot, move too fast. Alright, so once again, I'm going to fold the brush back. Try to get it as much of the core focused as I can. And I'm also going to make a few tight wraps close to the joint just to kind of blend them in so I don't have these overly obvious sections. Okay. Work around the legs. Oop, caught my thread. Everything folded out of the way. Advance back around. Okay. Thread back up here in front of that bump. Now it's just a matter of the wraps to the notification bump where the popper is going to begin. Alrighty. Okay, it down. Alright, I'm going to give myself a couple little ridges, kind of micro ridges to just help things have something for that popper head, additional surface area for that popper head to attach to. Alright, just one more time, make sure this sucker's not going to give me any trouble. Alright, here we go. We're going to glue this head on before we brush it out. Just naturally wants to lay down, so we'll brush it out after we get the head on. A little bit more. Get that nice harmonious amount of not too much, but just enough to get the job done. Okay. Get this guy started and keep it moving. Alright, make sure I got it lined up where I want it. And that sucker will set and cure. That's where I want it. Alright, so I'm going to get in here and just brush some of this out again, get any potentially trapped fibers. And free them up. that's how you tie a Yewchuck rat, fly armory style, in the lab rat scheme. Hope you guys enjoyed. Happy tying and good luck to y'all.